I can't believe it's already time to wrap up August and summer. I mean, I know technically summer goes until September, but really I'm talking about my summertime bingo that was only June, July, and August. Okay, so in the month of August, I finished 3 books, which is not as great as I have been doing the past couple of months, but I mean, I'll take it. 3 books is still 3 books. So the first book I finished was Dr. Dearest by R.S. Gray. I think I'm kind of burnt out on R.S. Gray. And this one included a trope that I'm not a huge fan of, and it was basically the whole plot of the book that was not hinted at in the summary, or I probably wouldn't have chosen to read it. But basically, it is a brother's best friend kind of romance about 2 surgeons, and the girl's brother goes away to work somewhere else. He's a doctor too. And he goes away for like a month or 2, and they are sharing his house because she lives with him, and then the best friend's house is getting renovated, so he moves in while the brother is gone. And things happen. And that's pretty much all I can tell you about that book. It was a 3-star read, but I feel like that's almost kind of generous. It might have been closer to like a 2, 2.5. But yeah, so that's all I'll really say about that one. Moving on. That also didn't count for any squares on my summertime bingo board. So the next book I finished, I actually started at the end of June, so it took a while just because I feel like I say all the time, but I don't have a lot of time to like physically read. So the fact that it was a physical book, it did take a while, even though I was really enjoying it, and that is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This was a highly anticipated book for me because I absolutely loved Beach Read. I have not read People We Meet on Vacation. Is that what it's called? I haven't read that one. It didn't sound as good to me, but I really enjoyed this one and Beach Read, so I'll probably give that one a try anyway. The main character, Nora, is a literary agent. The love interest is an editor, and you're basically just following Nora as she and her sister take like a sister vacation down to North Carolina to a very small town and try to experience all the small town things while they're there. As with Beach Read, it does go a little bit deeper than that, but that's the basic premise of this story. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I had originally thought it was going to be like an enemies to lovers book, and it ended up just being kind of like we had a bad first encounter, and that kind of tainted our idea of each other until we spent more time together to lovers, if that makes sense. It wasn't really enemies to lovers, so it kind of lacked that enemies to lovers vibe that I really enjoy in my romance books. But I mean, overall it was a solid read. I loved it. You know, like I said, it was deeper than just the romance plot a little bit. There were a couple of little tiny things that were a little bit annoying to me about this book, which also kind of contributed to it not being a 5-star read for me, but overall I really enjoyed it and I would highly recommend it to anyone that likes romance. As for my bingo board, this book counted for the squares. Read Outside. I read it at the beach while I was in South Carolina. Book or list in title, obviously Book Lovers. And Read with a Cocktail or Mocktail. I had fancy lemonade at one point while I was reading this, so I'm counting that. Alright, and the final book that I finished in August was The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. It's book 2 in the Wheel of Time series. I am going to do one of my reading through the Wheel of Time videos for that, so I'm not going to go too in-depth, especially since it's also the second book in a series. But I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as the first one because there was one kind of the main storyline almost that I wasn't really too interested in, but then there were just little pieces of the story and like certain parts of the story that I really, really enjoyed. And my overall reading experience was a good one. So it was still a 4-star read for me, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as the first one. And for my board, that counted for a 5-star prediction, even though it didn't end up being 5 stars, and the good job adulting square because I had a doctor's appointment that I had to go to and I really didn't want to. And I went, and then when I got home I read. So good job adulting to me. So that's the end of my summertime bingo. I did get 2 bingos, so for me that's actually pretty good. Usually when I do bingo stuff, I don't actually read any books that fit any of the prompts, and it's usually like a total fail. So I got 2 bingos and I'm happy about that. I almost got a bunch more, but I'm missing like 1 square to get. How many more? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I was close. I was one square off from getting 4 more bingos, so I think I did a good job. I'm gonna consider it a success, even though I only got 2 bingos. So yeah, that wraps up my summertime bingo. That wraps up August. I'm gonna say that wraps up summer, even though I know summer goes through September. Like, I'm ready for fall. I am ready for fall. I've already had like 4 nutty pumpkins from Dunkin' Donuts because I just want fall. But right now, I'm gonna go because I'm sweating to death. I turned the fan off so that I could film, and now it's really hot in here. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you read in August, and if you did the summertime bingo, how did you do? And yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.